Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to the second episode of Cam's Retro Gaming. Today, we're going to do a little episode, a little quick one about sealed gaming items. Now, sealed stuff they're not typically items I'm looking out for. I don't collect them. I don't go out of my way to find sealed games. But if I do find stuff locally or, for a good deal, just in general, I will pick them up just because I think they're kind of fun. Certain things I will keep sealed, certain things I will typically play eventually, and we'll kind of go through what I have right here. Just kind of an eclectic assortment of things that I found sealed. So a lot of times you can find stuff that's sealed in a storable market just as if it was like a complete in box thing with no real difference in the price, which is pretty neat, and I'll typically just pick it up if it's a good deal. But let's go through it. So basically, we have kind of two categories: stuff that I'll eventually open and play, and other things I will absolutely just leave sealed because I have the same game, open or in a box or whatever, and there's no real need to undo it, and it's kind of a cool thing. So, for example, a game like Zero Time Dilemma on the PS Vita, I'm going to eventually just open this up and play it. There's no real, it's not exciting to me having this sealed. Probably the same thing with Golden Sun, although I may look out for an unsealed version, because I think the DS is kind of headed towards more kind of vintagey territory these days, I guess. But I bought this new. I'm not going to keep the Mario and Luigi Paper Jam sealed. NBA 2K1, probably keep that sealed. Dark Deception. I actually purchased this I didn't know this was even sealed, although I think this may be a reseal. So we'll probably end up breaking this up, but this would be kind of cool if it was legitimate. Myst, I'll probably keep this sealed because I've already played through Myst on the Sega Saturn. But I also like to know if you guys collect sealed games. Do you look for them specifically? Do you do the grading thing? Or are you kind of like me, where if you find stuff sealed, it's kind of a cool bonus? NHL 96 is one of my favorite Super Nintendo games of all time, believe it or not. And a good friend of mine in North Carolina ended up finding this. I guess they got a whole bunch of these in their game store, and she set this aside for me, knowing that this is a game that I've really enjoyed over the years. I got this new in '95 myself, and I played it and loved it and have loved it ever since. So this is kind of just something cool to keep in the collection as a sealed sort of curiosity. Let's see what else we have. Another thing kind of cool, I was trying to collect a whole bunch of Game Boy accessories and a cleaning kit. Not exciting really, but any Game Boy thing sealed to me is pretty cool. We'll get to the Sega CD stuff last. Sealed accessories are cool too, like the cleaning kit rather, and then this Neo Geo CD controller. But I bought this with the intention of eventually opening it in case my controller wore out, because these are notorious for kind of wearing out. But these are the best. The D-pads are just incredible on these. They're very clicky. Sealed Game Gear stuff is, I'm not gonna, I have all these loose, so I'm not going to be opening these up, but you can find these for pretty cheap. I mean, Game Gear, I feel like, is a console that a lot of people didn't buy, so I'm sure there's a lot of stuff hanging around, and this is definitely almost pointless to keep sealed because it's so beat up, and there's no game in here that's like, wow, it's an amazing game to keep sealed, but I just don't have any point of opening these at the moment. So, and last but not least, as I almost drop on my Game Gear games that I just have kept sealed. I found these all locally at this game store, or a store, not a game store, but a store that sells games locally. And I paid more for them than I would, but Sega CD stuff, if you find it sealed, I feel like that's a much rarer thing. If it's lasted this long. So I picked these up, paid somewhat of a premium, but not nearly what they would go for on eBay. But Rise of the Dragon is already kind of a rare game in the cardboard box, but a sealed cardboard box with a hang tag, I mean, yeah, I got to keep that. absolutely pick it up. It's a little beat up, but it's just a cool thing to have sealed, you know. I don't, like I said, I'm not going to get this graded or anything, but it's pretty cool. I like this kind of stuff. Double switch. I think they sold this for what it was sold for, just complete, or at least not much more, featuring the late Corey Haim. Monkey Island, another sealed cardboard box game. The guy who sold these, I think, sold a whole bunch of sealed games for other consoles too. That might have the seal's kind of broken here at the bottom, but that's okay. And then Chuck Rock, also sealed for the Sega CD. It has a hang tag as well. So pretty cool stuff. And I actually did, I found a sealed copy of NHL, I think 94 for Sega CD a few years ago. And I ended up opening it up because I wanted a pristine copy, and I'd never opened a sealed Sega CD game. So that was kind of fun, and it wasn't worth a ton anyway. One real quick story I'll leave you guys with before I head on out. But I did ended up finding a sealed copy of Mario Land, Super Mario Land on Game Boy. This is years ago, and I kept it in my collection as my only sealed item for years and years and years. Didn't think a whole lot of it. And during the sort of pandemic time, we had a whole bunch of house repairs come up all at once. And I looked it up to see what I could get for it, because it wasn't really doing any good, you know, keeping it around the house sealed. And believe it or not, I sold that thing. I'm not going to tell you how much I sold it for. It wasn't ridiculous, but it was probably about maybe 100 times what I paid for it. Maybe not 100 times, but close to it. And I was able to get a whole bunch of work done on the house because somebody was just trying to complete their sealed Game Boy Super Mario collection. So, you know, I'm not afraid to turn these around and sell them if I need to take care of some house stuff around the house or whatever. But it is cool keeping these around, and I'm not a reseller. You know, but in times of need, we all have to do certain things. Anyways, guys, I'd love to know what you think about sealed games. Do you collect them? Do you get them graded? Do you open them? You know, just let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.